Hi, this is Jason Eagle, your natural health authority for strategic healing, and I have another Feature Friday. Today is about what's called the ERT. It's a part of the type of work that I do as QRA, as quantum reflex analysis. ERT stands for the emotional repolarization tool or technique. This is in regards to Me Too. Me Too. Hashtag Me Too. So, now what? Say you come up with, yeah, me too. Something like that has happened. And I'll tell you, the ERT is what's called emotional repolarization, meaning how do you take something that is unbalanced and rebalance it, or unpolarized and repolarize it. With the QRA is based upon kinesiological testing, muscle testing. So we do what's called the bidigital O-ring test, which I hold onto your hand and try and pull your fingers apart, just as like the deltoid test would be. So me pushing down on an arm, and so we have a natural, normal response, which is I push, and okay, you should hold strong, strong. But if we do some altering to the sequence, or put something in the field, or test an area, we can determine a heart is weak, or my lung is weak, and then what do we do about it? By putting supplements into a pouch or into your hand. If that makes it go strong, then we found a correct match. Okay, now we have an extrapolation of ERT of, so your mind. If you could test your mind, if you could test your beliefs, like you can test your eye, or test for the right nutrients, or does it need some other type of therapy to bring balance back into it, bring healing back into it? Well, could you test your mind? Well, that's what the ERT is. And the reason I bring up the ERT with regards to Me Too is I've been doing this for a lot of years. I've been doing QRA for 12 years, I believe. And in that time, I've seen a lot of different people. And I will tell you, I've seen a lot of different people that I have used the emotional repolarization. And in testing, what we found is that there's some very common problems, that are associated with emotional or somato-emotional issues. And so one of the things that I've seen an awful lot of is a lot of tumors, whether they be cancerous or non-cancerous, of reproductive organs, whether it be a woman's uterus or her ovaries, or a man's testicles or his prostate, or breast tissue in a female or a male. What we have seen is that what's come up with these particular things, another aspect of is, it's not just that they have infection, or it's not just that they have, say, a genetic propensity towards, or it's not just towards cancer, or it's not just that they have, for instance, an estrogen dominance, which these are all factors. One of the common factors that I have found is that sexual abuse, molestation, or Me Too has been a part of that. And I can kind of describe it like this: is let's say you're a young child or adolescent or something like that, and somebody abuses you, somebody touches you or affects your part of your body, and it's, whether it's a horrible experience or sociologically it becomes a horrible experience. I kind of look at it like this, like the brain, like the psychology looks at that part of the body and goes, if you weren't there, they would not have done that to me, and I would not have hurt, so I'm going to cut you off. And so we see that the normal nerve and energy flow is blocked to these areas. And so for people, I've seen this an awful lot, that the people who have reproductive organ cancers, they report, yes. How did you know? Well, what do we do about it? What we do about it is we do the testing, and we can find out basically what's lurking in a person's mind and past, that is killing them, or is weakening them, or is blocking their healing, or blocking their health. So let me describe the ERT. In testing, and let me also describe this, that ERT, in terms of using muscle testing to determine a person's mind or belief system, and what the ERT is really showing is you're believing a lie. It's not true. It's not true. And ultimately, that's what these things are. It's not that it didn't happen. It's that it doesn't have to kill you, or you don't have to hold bitterness towards it, or you can forgive it and you can let it go. And it doesn't mean that it makes it all right, but you're the one that's being harmed. I'll bring something up that in everyday knowledge that everybody knows, and that is lie detector test. Okay, a lie detector test is not much different than a kinesiological testing, although it's using, what it tests is three different things. They put a monitor to test your heart rate. Okay, so if you're trying to think up a lie, you're stressed and your heart rate is going to go up. If you're trying to think up a lie, you're going to sweat, so it measures sweat. And if you're trying to think up a lie, your breathing rate, so it measures those three things. And the reason those things go up is because they're a stress on your system. Now, there are people that can fool a lie detector test, but the way that they do it is it's not that we're not seeing the lie, because when they're asking you a baseline question, is your name this? And if it's your name, yes. And then they'll say, tell me your name is Julie or whatever, a false name. And if we know it's a lie, we should be able to detect it. Now, the people who are tricking it, they're doing it because they're nervous all the time. They're in a nervous, so everything looks like a lie. But that means that the lie is hidden within it. It's not that it's not reporting. It's picking up on it, okay? But it's kind of squashed in there. So that's not much different than what we're doing with the kinesiological testing. So what a person... This is true. This should be, when you put a person on a lie detector test, they should not be lying when they say this, and they should have any stress on their body. There should be a completely, boom, I'm rock solid, or boom, I'm rock solid. This is not a lie. This is the truth. And the truth should be is, number one, I can be healthy. Now I can be healthy. Should be no problem. Should be strong. Now I can do whatever it takes to be healthy. Should be strong, because it's predicated upon these other three things, which is because now I can love myself, now I can be loved by others, and now I can love others. When you got all those on, you're going, you're up, you're living, and you're growing up. But you got any one of those off, or all of them off, you're going down. And I will tell you one thing that I see extremely common in American women in particular, is the only one that they're strong to. Everything else it breaks, meaning it's a lie. But how can that be? That can't be a lie. You should be able to love yourself. The only thing that a lot of women, and men too, okay, can only answer true to is, now I can love others. Now, I put that like you're in a business. And if you're spending money to be a business but not making any money, that's bankruptcy, and that's not going to be in business very long. So if your life is a business and you got to have an account balance, if only you're spending, it's not going to last. So the ERT then goes into, well, we got to find out where that happened. Where did you, because you can tell your friends you love yourself, but is that really true? Do you break down? Do you look yourself in the mirror and look at yourself in the eye and go, I love you, Jason, and start crying? I've been like that before too. Now I look at myself and I start laughing because I know it's true. I do love myself and I act it out. But so what we do is we then search within the testing, when did this happen? Because ultimately what we're trying to find is a person that is, you had a relationship with, and whether they were a family member or somebody you don't even remember their name, but by how they treated you, whether this thing that they said or did to you or a combination, you bought it because they treated you horribly, or in your estimation they treated you horribly, but what they thought of you, you believed it too. Meaning, if your parent says, you're a dummy, you're an idiot, why? And then finally the little child goes, right, they must be right. They know more than me, they're bigger than I am, and so they must be right. And then it becomes buried, and it becomes in the background as a person is just it's very much like what the Buddha says, which is like you hold on to a bitterness, and it's a thing that somebody hurts you, okay, and now you're going to go hurt them. But you're going to throw a hot coal, and they're really going to get hurt because they hurt you, and so you're going to hurt them, right? But all the while you're holding onto the hot coal, and you're being burned. So the ERT is a way of going through the mind to actually test it so that you can find the right, very critical affirmations that you can say, now I can love and forgive this person for whatever they said or did to me at this age, so I can love myself, or so I can be loved, whatever the case may be. And we'll find the testing, the one that's right. But what it is you do it there's a whole series of, you do it for 21 days, and you do it in a mirror and everything. And there's some real good scientific tools, principles upon what this is based upon. But what it is it's taking out the false and confessing without judgment. Because the point is yes, they did wrong to you, okay? But you survived, and it's over. And that's not to say that they should skate free, okay? But it's not about judgment at this point, or it's not even about justice. Justice will have its day. And if you got to do something to see justice, go ahead and do that. But in the meanwhile, are you able to heal? Are you able to let it go and be like, I matter, and now I can do things for myself and receive love for myself because I love myself, and I matter, and I'm going to do things that are right for me. And when people say that they love me, I get it, yes. And they can give me gifts or do things that are loving to me, and I can receive it. And I can take and I can give that back to others. No hooks, okay? This is what so that you could finally say for truth and live it, yes, I can be healthy, and I can do whatever it takes to be healthy because I do love myself, and I love my neighbor as myself. Truly. If we could get these ducks in a row, in my estimation, this has been very, very helpful. It's been very, very helpful for me, and there is something that we can do about it. And so, about Me Too, what do? Well, you get on with living, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen to them, or you don't know what's going to happen with the truth, or whatever. But in the meantime, how do I free myself from my past, or even my perceived past, or even free myself from my pain? So that, because if you understand, this is also the truth about this, is hurting people hurt people. When does it stop? And for me, in my house, it stops with me. It stops here. I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm not going to perpetrate back what was done to me. It stops with me. Part of that is the cross. Part of that is the sacrifice. Part of that, and it's something that you have to, but it's not because you're weak. It's because you're strong, and you're able to walk headstrong and walk and be the head, not the tail, and be free, especially from the bitterness, and especially be free from the twist that if they genuinely hurt you, what got them there? Nobody did the process and stopped it. But you can do the process. I can do the process and stop it and start something new. And I found that the emotional repolarization, the ERT, which is an aspect of the QRA testing, which we do in strategic healing, has been life-changing. It's been life-changing for a lot of people. And I can only speak for myself truly, and it's been life-changing for me, but I can also, I got testimonies of people will tell you that didn't seem like it was anything, like I was just saying these words, but wow, they changed lives because it really showed up in the body, that they were able to actually not have a negative reaction when they said what they really longed to say, which is, I love you, and especially to themselves. I love you for whoever you are. Okay? Till next time. Bye-bye.